Realtors don't do any work. They just find houses, show houses, and then collect a big fat check at the end. True or false?
What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to your favorite podcast for real estate. I'm Sammy Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Pesci. And man, Sammy, I am excited to be back.
I missed you.
It's been a minute.
I missed you.
It's been a minute.
They missed us. I missed you. I missed these, Today, we are at Greenwood at 200 Green Bay Road in Highwood. They make a phenomenal espresso martini. Thank you to Omar. Well done. If you need a great espresso martini, great place for your family, come to Greenwood.
I really enjoy it here, mostly for the espresso martinis. But it's great to have a local spot.
Absolutely.
Somewhere to go.
They make an amazing cornbread skillet, which I will be having after this, so we got to hurry up.
I forgot about the cornbread skillet.
How do you forget?
I don't know. It just doesn't strike me the way it strikes you, but this espresso martini is striking me now.
I'm having another sip.
Okay, I will too.
Did you enjoy watching us drink? I know that's why you're watching on YouTube right now. I'm going to put it down. Okay, what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about myths versus realities. Something I like to call a little live version of true or false.
Okay, I can handle that.
So we're going to have a couple myths, a couple sort of accepted principles in real estate or accepted notions of real estate, and then we're going to discuss is true or false.
Well, we're going to open up the curtain, and we're going to let you behind the curtain. Is that the
Are you the Wizard of Oz?
Sure. With Wicked coming out, why not? We're going to really, as we always do, really let you behind the curtain and give you some information on what we feel is true about the real estate industry, and that some misconceptions out there, but just get ready. Why don't we get into it?
Let's just kick it off. The first one, and one of my favorites, is realtors don't do any work. They just find houses, show houses, and then collect a big fat check at the end. True or false?
The checks can be nice. Yes, the checks can be nice.
Let's not lead with that.
It's out there, sorry.
The check is nice,
okay.
but the reason the check is nice is because
I worked my ass off.
You did your ass. I worked my ass off. The difference is that check covers everything. You're not getting paid in the meantime. That's actually a separate myth about how much we get paid. Let's start with the first part, that we don't do any work.
Yeah, the odds are that anybody that's actually earning a commission check is putting in about 6 months of work
easily
into earning that. You're spending time with your clients, you're doing research, you're negotiating deals, you're figuring out what's going on with all these properties, you're talking with agents, you are driving all across town on their behalf.
Oh yeah.
You are spending a lot of money potentially on advertising, on gas, on supplies, on, you might have subscriptions to real estate services online.
Don't forget all of our fees.
Don't
forget we pay for our own insurance. We pay for all of it. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, my realtor didn't even find my house. I found it. Like that's the only thing we're good for is finding the house. Hello, there's the internet. Anybody can find a house. Anybody.
At my office, we have a brochure that lists 105 things that realtors do.
I've seen it.
During the full process of a deal. And we're not going to bore you with that because you would be clicking stop on this podcast. You want to listen to us, you want to hear us, and you want to see us, but you don't want to see us read. So we're not going to do that.
No, but the house part is just the smallest, tiniest part. But let's not, underestimate that piece. It can take, especially in a tough market, it can take a really long time to find the house. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that house was found in a second, your client loves it, and they say, well, they didn't really do any work. I found the house. My realtor didn't even find the house. I can't even begin to tell you how much work happens after you find the house. That's where all the work really comes in. It's behind the scenes. You might not see it, but we are working our little tuchuses off as soon as that contract is signed. But wait. How much work is there from when you find the house till you get it under contract even? That can take a while.
Can you say the word tuchuses? Like
tuchuses?
Several times.
Is it tuche? Like, I don't know what the plural is for tuchuses.
I don't know.
No.
Tuchuses.
All I'm going to say is false, hooey. I'm throwing a flag.
Tuchuses and hooey.
Give me a timeout.
She is hip.
Realtors do a lot of work that has nothing to do with finding the house. Do you want to give them some examples, Sammy? What do we do besides find the house?
Well, last night I was on my computer working for my clients until 10:30 at night.
But what were you doing?
I was putting together offers for them. I was doing some research for them. I was setting up an offer for clients today. I was doing a ton of work, talking with agents earlier on, and then just finally having some quiet time to myself, to focus, putting together offer and research on houses that my clients were going to take a look at over the next few days and figure out which ones were great to look at, which I felt would be worth seeing. It never stops. Are there some lazy agents out there that don't do a lot of work and it kind of seems like they're really not earning their money?
Shh, we're not saying any names.
I'm going to list off 5 right now. You know who you are.
All right. This is myths versus truths.
Okay, no. But yes, that is the truth. There are some lazy agents out there that may give some agents in general a bad reputation.
That's true.
We, as you've gotten to know your trusted real estate advisors, we hustle.
Yeah.
We work our asses off, or her tuchuses off, and we get the job done, and we do everything in our power, not only to make our clients, give them results and get them keys to a new house or sell their house, but to give them that positive experience. And giving them that positive experience is also work. It doesn't just come natural to everybody. We hustle, we make it a positive experience for as many people as we can.
But even beyond just the contracts and writing the contracts and talking to the brokers and figuring out what houses to see, once you go under contract, the clock starts. Now you're managing an attorney. Now you're managing an inspection. You're negotiating inspection items. You're meeting deadlines, the earnest money, the balance of earnest money, an appraisal, lending requirements, a final walkthrough, all those other steps along the way. And that takes a lot of time and effort and energy. And you, as a buyer or a seller, are like, great, I'm under contract, and you sit back and relax. This is where our hard work really comes in, is from the second you go under a contract into the second you close. I think as a client, if you're a buyer or a seller, you really underestimate how much time and energy we are doing behind the scenes between those 2 points in time. So yeah, finding the house is part of it, but where we really shine and where it makes a difference is everything that happens after that.
Yeah, you become like a transaction manager. You manage the process of getting our clients from the contract stage to closing. And there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and you are putting out fires. And I would say one of the biggest things that we do as realtors is put out fires.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. We should do another episode on everything that can go wrong.
Putting out fires?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, when we get to that closing table, not only are you thrilled, but we're thrilled because this is where we finally get paid. Keep in mind, up until this point, not 1 cent have we earned. So while you're looking at houses, while you're going under contract, while we're managing the deadlines and the stakeholders and everything else, we are not earning a single penny. Our expenses are still accruing, but we aren't earning a single penny. So when you get to the closing table and you see that title company cut checks to everyone who's there, you might catch a glimpse of what's coming your broker's way, and you're like, wow.
Big smile you will always see. I don't gloat about it, but see that check and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because now we can breathe.
Absolutely.
Because now that money, by the way, has already been spent for the last month or more on all the expenses that we are accruing. So you see that big check and you think, man, these brokers make entirely too much money, which leads me to myth number 2.
Go with it.
Realtors make too much money. True or false? Come on, this is an easy one.
False?
False.
False.
False. All day long false. Big F. Circle the F. All day long false.
You know why? Because not all the money that we make on commissions really comes to us.
Bingo.
Every agent is going to have a certain split with their brokerage where they get a certain percentage of that commission check that goes to the brokerage following that transaction.
That's how they make money.
They could make, it could be, if you're starting out, you're not getting much higher of a split than maybe 50 to 60%. So think about that. Half the commission that is earned on a transaction going to your brokerage potentially.
Yep.
As we get more experience, as you get more experience, if you're an agent watching this, you know that the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more experience you have, the more power you will have along the way, negotiating power with a prospective agency. You will be able to get a higher and higher split as your career develops.
You want to hear a data point that I think you'll really find interesting? Because you're a former math teacher. You like numbers.
She's a data nerd, so take it away.
Proudly wear that hat. I am a data nerd. I love the numbers.
Go with it.
You might be surprised to learn, Sammy, that
Rebecca,
that as of now, December 2024, when we're recording this podcast, the average annual salary of a U.S. realtor is $85,793. That's gross.
how many cents?
I don't know the cents. But what I will tell you in cents is how that breaks down for all you people who need a simple calculator.
That was pretty good segue.
Is that breaks down to $41.25 an hour. I think there's a lot of you out there who make a lot more than $41.25. And I'm willing to bet that you thought that we as realtors make a hell of a lot more money than that. And that's average, right? There are definitely those that are making a lot more, but by average, that means that there are definitely those that are making so much less. So before you are quick to judge a realtor that we make really easy money, I want you to keep that number in mind.
Easy judgy McPeterson. I think what we've seen this year is there's been a huge chasm between the agents that do a ton of deals, and then they're the either inexperienced or the agents that just don't hustle and haven't been able to do too many transactions this year. So that average, of course, there is a huge variance. And I think that really will continue next year in 2025.
Oh, I didn't realize you brought your crystal ball today. We're not making predictions. It's like resolutions.
That'll be another episode. But when it comes down to it, it's not like every agent out there is making $80,000. There are agents that are making nothing because they don't. I mean, there's so many reasons why.
There's so many reasons why.
Money.
There's also been a lot of changes in our industry this year. And I think that has scared off a lot of people, or some of those who are just thinking, you know what, I'm out. Like, this is my opportunity, I'm out. So hopefully, for those who are hustling like us, for those who are experienced like us, our numbers will continue to grow beyond that $85,000 because, hey, if you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Well, we need to make at least $85,000 a year to afford these bad boys.
That's right. They're really, really
good. They're really good.
Really good.
Greenwood, thank you. 200 Green Bay Road, Highwood, Omar. Thank you.
Let's move on to our next myth. The next myth is, this is for all you sellers. If you price your house high, you'll make more money.
So a lot of times people will say, you know what, the house down the street.
Oh, I love this one.
Sold for, let's say, $600,000. And then those sellers will be like, you know what, my house is
so much better.
So much nicer than the house down the street. Not that they've spent time there. They just think they're just cocky, you know?
Right. Their bedroom probably has 6 square feet more. And well, that equates to another $50,000 in selling price, right?
They probably keep 4 extra pillows on the bed. It's so much nicer.
There's
oh, my God.
A complete value add to that.
Okay. So naturally, they think that their house is worth more. But when we come in and kind of set them straight in the most lovingly way possible.
Maybe you do. I'm a little more direct.
I am direct, but what are you going to say? But if we tell them, like, here's the story. You have one fewer bedroom. You have an unfinished basement. That has basement. And we set them straight. We need to be able to share that information. And if they accept it, they're probably going to get better results. If they stand firm and just refuse to price it using our recommendations and price it too high, what happens?
It's going to sit on the market.
It's going to sit on the market.
Because how many times have you heard, like I have, well, why don't we just try my price? And if we don't get an offer, then we can use your price. The problem with that is you only have one opportunity to hit the market as a new listing. When you are fresh and new, sort of your best foot forward, your first impression, right? So if you are putting that out there and the price isn't, I'm not saying you undervalue it. I'm not saying you overvalue it. I'm saying my philosophy, you come in competitively, exactly where fair market is, because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to land. Buyers aren't dumb. Other agents aren't dumb. They know what the fair market value is of your home. So who do you think you're fooling? Just price it appropriately at the beginning. Let it hit the market.
I like that line. Who do you think you're fooling?
That's another podcast.
Took it. What was the second thing I said that you said that I really liked?
I don't even remember.
Hooey or something like that?
Hooey. I said hooey.
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? Stay in your lane.
How dare you?
Stay in your lane? We're the professionals. We have years of experience. This is not our first rodeo. Let us help you price your house.
Help us help you.
Okay, Jerry Maguire. We want to sell your house as much as you want to sell your house. And our goal is to get you top dollar in the shortest amount of time possible. You have to let us take the lead on this. I promise you, pricing it too high is not the route to go. Then you sit there, people don't want to pay, they think something's wrong with it, or you're crazy, or it sits there. Now we got to do a price reduction. We got to get all those people back. It never works out to your benefit. So I guess the moral of the story is, listen to us.
One little tip, if you're going to test the market, maybe test it on the private listing private listing network.
What is that?
We've mentioned it before.
Well, mention it again for the people in the back.
How dare you? How dare you scream at me? Anyways, private listing network, it used to be like a sneak preview for agents. But since, I would say since COVID, there have been more and more houses that have sold before they even hit what's called our MLS, our multiple listing service, along with sites like Zillow and Realtor.com. And now it's the only people that have access to the private listing network are those that have gotten access through their agents. I would say realistically, only like 5 to 10% of prospective home buyers out there have access to that network. And that is a solid place to test the market, maybe at a higher price, just to see if there's great interest. But then when you get to the MLS, you really want to be priced well so that the masses will come through the house, hopefully get you multiple offers and then a bidding war.
Like, think of it like a first date, right? You have to be, first impressions mean everything. And if you don't have everything, it's like a hair out of place, right? It's just a distraction.
What are you saying?
Not you.
Okay.
It's a figure of speech. Your hair looks great. It's
I really
fabulous.
got
It's fabulous.
worried about my hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to price it right. You have to show it right. Everything has to be perfect because you're not going to get those buyers back. I don't know what it is about consumer behavior. You have 2 weeks. Those first 2 weeks are where you're going to go under contract or you're not. And price usually is the reason why not. Because even garbage sells for the right price. It's true. We've seen horrible properties that are absolute dumps go under contract quickly because it was priced appropriately. So we don't need to belabor this point here. Just do us a favor and listen to what we say. And then we can go on to myth number 3. Myth number 3. 4. Myth 4? Are we on 4?
She just can't count. And you know why she can't count?
Okay, because this is the next myth, and I just totally walked right into this. But here's a fun myth. Myth number 3, 4, 5, whatever it is that Sammy and Rebecca drink so many espresso martinis that we must probably be non-sober as we do our showings.
We must be non-sober.
I didn't want to say the D word on our podcast.
Drunk? Okay, here's a story.
We're not, for the record, we're not. We're playing this up.
No. This is our first espresso martini of the day.
Fair.
Will there be a second? I don't know. But when it comes down to it, yes, as you know, from minute 1, second 1 of this podcast, when you saw the logo, which was a martini glass with a house on top of it.
On its side.
What did you just do?
On its side. On its side.
Okay, whatever. Anyways. Okay.
False. The myth is false. Could you just spit it out already? It's false.
No,
Not
I was
true.
just in awe of you moving your took us out and whatever. Took us is, whatever. Anyways, but we digress. No, when we are with our clients, we are focused. We say no to espresso martinis just like that.
I may be mainlining Diet Coke, but that's it.
Water for me.
Nothing else.
I treat my clients with the utmost respect, with the utmost professionalism. But during the podcast, all bets are off.
Are you suggesting that my Diet Coke addiction means I'm not treating my clients with utmost respect? Whenever
we have a meeting to discuss podcast business in Arizona or other, she will always have a Diet Coke from McDonald's.
I was going to say, not just any Diet Coke. You were right. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Myth or truth? That was true, okay?
McDonald's Diet Coke.
So when it comes down to it, yeah, we're doing this for fun. We're doing this to entertain the masses.
Yes.
But when we are with our clients, no means no.
All right. Enough. Let's move on to the next myth.
Okay.
Next myth, anyone can be a real estate agent. True or false?
I say false.
Trick question. It was a trick question.
Okay.
True and false. False and true? True only because there's a low barrier to entry here. It isn't difficult to get a real estate license.
I think you have to have a brain to pass the real estate exam.
Are you kidding?
No, I am not kidding.
It is, I'm sorry, an animal at the zoo could pass that test. It is not difficult. Okay?
I would officially like to apologize for all of you that are watching that have failed the Illinois real estate test more than 2 times. I am not associated with that comment. That is fully Rebecca Pesci, also known as Becky Pesci.
It's so true. Okay, here's the false part, okay? Can we agree to disagree? The false part is that not anybody can be a successful real estate agent. We can agree on that.
I will completely agree with Rebecca Pesci's last statement.
Okay, not everybody can be a successful real estate agent. And the truth of it is because this is a very lonely business. I don't take this for granted that I have like a cool partner here, but it's it can be a really lonely business, which means that it's really easy to be distracted and not be disciplined. And there are peaks and valleys to this business. So like we said, it's not easy to get paid. And there's a lot of time you go without getting paid. And so that can be really discouraging for a lot of people.
Yeah, early on, people are, that are getting into this industry, they're not making much money. You know, odds are they're not going to make a single commission in the first 6 months.
Easily.
And that's just if they're able to hustle and able to convince people to trust them enough to handle their transaction.
Sounds like a con artist. Convince them.
I think this job is very important we all get referrals,
yes.
Or at least the experienced people.
Yep.
But yeah, there are a lot of people that, online lead generation is huge for me.
Right.
And I find myself completely in a place where I need to convince these people that I am trustworthy enough to trust with one of the biggest financial investments of their life.
That's fair.
And that is huge. So when people are just starting out and somebody says, oh, how much experience you have, why should we work with you? Sure, it's easy for them to say, well, my mom.
Ugh.
That's not enough right now. And especially with the new regulations in place, every agent has to show value to their clients to the point where, sure, selling a house, a lot of homeowners out there are interviewing a bunch of different agents out there.
Or should be.
But now, as we talked about in our last episode, the buyers, they absolutely need to be doing their due diligence on the agents that are going to be representing them, showing them houses and guiding them through the whole process. So again, for somebody starting out, they need to figure out that value proposition to the point where they're going to be able to give these potential clients a reason to sign with them, to work with them.
And I would argue too that there's a little bit at the beginning for your newer agents, not to sort of discourage you from getting into the business, thinking that only the experienced agents are going to have any business, because it's not true. But like I was telling a young, amazing young agent today that I'm going to be hiring onto my team, that a lot of it is...
Look at her.
A lot of it is fake it till you make it.
Wait, if she's watching, he or she?
She.
Okay, if she's watching this before you even hire her, you just totally let the cat out of the bag.
No, she knows I'm going to hire her. We are going to hire her, not we, me and my
We're
team.
probably filming this a week or so before
I hire
you see it.
This amazing young agent.
Okay, I just didn't want her to have too much confidence that you're going to hire
She won't see this until I've already signed her. But the point is, a lot of it is fake it till you make it, right? Because you have to dress for the part that you want.
Yeah.
And she's smart and she's fully capable. It's just a career change. And I've had that, you've had that, where this wasn't our first career out of the gate.
Not my first rodeo.
No, and that doesn't mean that we weren't smart enough and capable enough. It just meant that we needed a little bit more to get our feet wet and a little bit more under our belt over time to be a seasoned agent and be able to let that be what we lead with. So I think it kind of segues into our next myth a little bit with, it doesn't matter who your agent is. True or false?
Funny. That is so false.
We finally agree.
Okay. We have done hundreds
Don't hold back. I feel like this is going to be unleashed.
I'm going to take a breath here.
Take a breath.
We have done hundreds of transactions in our careers.
Mm-hmm.
We have worked with some spectacular agents that we can't wait to do deals with.
Yes.
They have excellent reputations where when we know once a contract is signed, we're going to be able to get to the finish line.
Yeah, it's going to be smooth.
Because we're going to work with that agent on behalf of our clients to take it home, to get them keys, to get that check for their property. On the other hand,
and we're not naming names,
here are 5 agents I cannot stand. Number 1. No,
Stop.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to go there. I love every agent. So all you agents watching right now, I love you all.
Okay, but...
Myth. Okay, anyway. False?
False.
False.
We don't love every agent, and that's...
Okay.
And we don't need to go there. We need to go there.
I digress. Regardless, yes, there are some agents out there where I think to myself personally, and yes, opening up the curtain right now, opening up the vault, I should say.
Preach, wizard.
I am amazed that some of these agents out there do any business. They have, some have no personality.
Okay.
We could name 5 off the bat.
We're not naming names today.
Okay.
It's more than that. It's more than just no personality.
No, I know, but there are so many. Okay. No personality. I would be shocked for them to have the wherewithal to convince anyone to trust them. Some are slimy. Some are mute. They are. They just are. And some are very successful, and you just don't understand how they are getting any business whatsoever.
That's true.
Other than they've been in the industry a long time, and they just know a bunch of people. And I can only speak for myself. When I entered the industry, there were a lot of agents that I saw out there that I saw getting all this business, and I questioned why. I just didn't get it. And you guys have gotten to know me a little bit, obviously Rebecca as well, throughout this podcast. And for those of you that are watching that truly know me, you know that I pride myself on making people smile, making people laugh, and I listen to people. And those qualities have helped my career. I don't see with some of the agents out there having the same kind of stuff. And it does shock me that they are so successful.
Well, I will say this, to not sort of walk that back a beat, but maybe just half a beat, is that you and I are not everyone's cup of tea, right? In all fairness.
You believe what she's saying right
now? In all
now?
fairness, listen, there are a lot of great agents out there, and I'm not the right fit for everyone.
Wait. Are you saying not everybody loves me?
No. Nope, that's not at all what I said. You're not listening.
I'm going to drink my sorrows away.
What I was saying is that we're not the right fit for everybody. You might not be the right fit. I might not be the right fit because our work styles or our communication styles are a little bit, it's not a connection, right? So my point is that there are a lot of great agents out there. How often are we seeing these posts on Facebook and these big groups that are saying, anyone have a great realtor out there? And then you see 1,800 names that get tagged. What I usually respond with, because I believe this, is that there are a lot of great agents out there, but all of us are a little bit different. And so you're going to become intimately involved. If you're a buyer or seller, you're going to become intimately involved with your real estate agent. You're going to be spending a lot of time with them. You're going to be communicating with them a lot. They're going to see you on your best day and your worst day. So be choosy, right? Find the right fit. So when I say that it matters who your agent is, it does matter who is a good agent, to your point, but it also matters who's the right agent for you. And that doesn't mean that I'm not a great agent because I am. It doesn't mean you're not a great agent because you are. It just might mean that we're not the right fit for a particular client. And that's okay.
Yeah, we've talked about this in previous episodes. Like, you're going to potentially be spending like 6 months to a year with this agent, you know? And if you're trying to sell your house, hopefully a short amount of time.
In this market.
Yeah. But if you're a buyer right now and you're dealing with a competitive market, you could be spending more than a year with this agent. So do that due diligence and make sure you are working with somebody that's going to be able to get results and you want to work with.
Right. You don't dread their phone call. You don't dread their text message. You need to be choosy in who is representing you. And again, make sure that they're smart and capable and all of those things like you said, but also make sure that they're somebody that you connect with in a way that you are willing to work with them late hours, when you're stressed, when you're feeling great, because it matters. It matters who you work with.
All right. You know what I just decided we're going to do? Speed round. We're going to do this quick, instant reaction to these myths.
Let's go.
Okay?
Let's go. I'm ready.
I'm going to scream them out. Not scream, because it just doesn't make good video. All right, here we go. All right. And yes, I'm looking at a piece of paper right below the camera, so deal with it.
Hit me.
Okay.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'd be fine just going through the listing agent.
Oh my God, false.
Why?
Going through the listing agent as a buyer?
Speed round, go.
Speed round, sorry. That listing agent represents the seller, does not represent you, the buyer. You might think that you're getting an inside path. You might think that you're getting a better deal because you're going directly to the listing agent, but let me tell you, you're not, because that listing agent does not represent you.
Seller.
They represent the seller. Okay, what else you got?
Okay, second. Buying and selling looks really easy on reality TV.
Oh my God. Then go hire Josh Altman. I don't know what else to tell you. False.
Why?
Why? Because that is cut and edited for television, for entertainment. It is not real life.
Do we cut and edit this podcast?
Yeah, but we're not buying and selling a house right now.
Not that much. Yeah, it's funny how 6 months of work you see within 20 minutes.
Right, and they always have 3 choices.
Well, the House Hunters International, they go see 3 houses. You know how many times we go show our clients 3 houses and they buy one of them?
Never. Also, why are there only 3 choices? Here's our 3 choices. You must choose one. I don't understand the concept. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. Seller pays for buyer's commission. This is more of a deep one.
True, false, actually. It's a little more nuanced than just true or false, and here's why. The seller might pay the buyer's broker commission if the buyer asks for it. But ultimately, the buyer is responsible for paying their buyer broker commission. That could come directly from the buyer. You could ask the seller to cover it from the proceeds of the sale. But either way, ultimately, it's the buyer's responsibility to pay their broker, and it's the seller's responsibility to pay their broker.
Okay, I want to play speed round. Go.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
I want to play.
I'm sweating. Okay, next. Just as easy to sell a home by owner.
Good luck with all that. Good luck getting the eyeballs on your property.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck negotiating a deal. Good luck doing all the paperwork, guiding yourself through the whole process of contract to closing. Everybody thinks they can do it, but we are professionals. We have the experience, and we do this for our living.
All right, stay in your lane. That's the realty. Okay, number 2, speed rounds. It's okay to go see houses without talking to a lender first.
Wow. Here's the thing. A lot of our clients, they want to go see houses. Why wouldn't you want to go see multi-million-dollar properties? Real estate, you see it on TV, you see it online. I want to go see that house. But you know what? If you can't afford it, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your agent's time.
Yep.
Talk to a lender, see what your true buying power is, and that's going to limit the amount of time that you could waste.
Okay,
looking
speed
at houses.
round.
Go.
All right, you need to put 20% down.
You don't. Talk to your lender about these programs out there.
Hello.
You can put, the lenders have so many different programs. 20% is not a necessity. What it does do is limit what's called your mortgage insurance, your PMI, that you would have to pay if you're paying less than 20% down. But that's a whole nother conversation. Make sure you talk to your lender, figure out what you're buying.
All right, that's all I have for our speed round. I think we did great.
I think
High
we
five.
did awesome.
High five. That was awesome.
You know what? I think we've done a great job. Thanks to Greenwood. Really appreciate it. Again, there are 200 Green Bay Road in Highwood.
Thanks for joining us again. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Again, I'm Rebecca Pesci.
I'm Sammy Lubeck. I know you missed us. We'll try to do this a little bit more often, and we look forward to seeing all of you in 2025.
Take care. You need a drink.
Oh, is it recording?
Let's do it.
It's recording?
Maybe.
I get so nervous when it's recording.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't even know if this is where I'm supposed to stand. Just wait right there.
But that was great for outtakes.
I don't do it for outtakes.
I do everything for outtakes.
Do a half step to your left.
I'm up against a wire.
Okay.
You want me to be up against a wire?
Better than being up against a wall,
Okay.
I suppose.
Are you ready for us?